What's going on? My name is Dubocracy. I like to beatbox, I like to produce music, and more importantly, I like to produce music with Maschine. So today we're going to talk about how to get started producing music with Maschine. Now I really do not want to sit here and ramble on and take up all your time because I know that gets pretty annoying, so let's get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about master channel, group, sound, patterns, scenes, and why you should get started or implement Maschine in developing or producing your music. Down below are the groups here, and then over to your right are the pads. Now when I select, let's say B or C or D, as you can see the pads are changing because it's changing the selected group as well as the sounds that are loaded within, so that way you're not just forced to work with 16 pads by themselves. So moving forward, we're gonna delve into master channel. And with the master channel, it affects the entire project. As you can see, I have intro, verse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's not any particular organization. That's just for me. That's definitely not how a song should be organized. But anyways, for the sake of instructional purposes only, that's what I decided to go with. So we have the master channel, and here I have EQ and limiter. These are kind of like the baseline. So EQing, this is not a tutorial for how to EQ or to delve into any specific effect, but baseline is a limiter is pretty important. What that actually does is it prevents, like if you see up here, it prevents any peaking without affecting the levels of individual parameters too greatly. So the next one we have is the group. Now this is pretty important. So like if you remember what I said before, a group like A, B, C, D, this will affect just that particular group, which is powerful. And here I have a transient master. I usually always put some kind of transient master on my beats because it kind of gives it more of a, it makes it hit harder, gives it a stronger punch. So the next one we have is sound. Now the variables here are completely and utterly dynamic, meaning that there's no one particular set way. It just depends on the flow and the feel of the track that you're working with. So now this is obviously, you can see this is my drums, and I got my kick, snare, I got a hat that I just recorded with a, and then a snare that's not really being used, but it's like a knock sound, and then just another snare, rim shot, that sort of thing. So the next thing to consider is what we have here is multiple groups of scenes. Now these scenes are very important for developing a song within Maschine, and it took me the longest to figure out just because that's the way my mind works. So that's kind of the general basis to understand when working with Maschine, is learning these three things: master, group, and sound. To kind of further delve in to sound, that these are the sounds within a group. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the group, and as you can see, it changes the parameters of the group. And you can also see what sounds are absent, what's not being used. So I guess we'll go ahead and give like a little sample of what I'm working with here.
I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm gonna fuck it up.
All right, thank you so much for sticking with me this far. It means a lot. I hope that this is helping you at least a little bit. To kind of give a little background about myself, I'm not that skilled of a musician or a producer. I've only been doing it for a few years. However, I've learned so much by utilizing Maschine. And I think that Maschine is also a great way to get started. Most importantly, it teaches you a sense of rhythm because you actively get to utilize the device back here to make the patterns and to really get a feel and a vibe for whatever kind of music that you're trying to create. So like drawing beat patterns is probably one of the most tedious things that is associated with production. Now that's just my perspective. Now Maschine takes away that tediousness and it speeds up the workflow. So baseline is learning how to finger drum is probably one of the most important aspects of being a producer, because that's the key. It speeds up workflow and it gets you to that vibe and that feeling of your track quicker, at least for me. I don't know if that's an issue for you, but it has been for me, so hope that helps. So the next factor when it comes to Maschine, this is a parameter that is widely used in, I'm pretty sure, I've only used Maschine in FL Studios and dabbled with Ableton a little bit, but quantization is definitely a factor for all these different digital audio workstations. However, for this one, it has a live quantization feature. Now, just so I give you the correct definition, College Media has a really good definition for it. So, quantization is the process of converting a continuous range of values into a finite range of discrete values. So what that means is, whenever somebody's playing a beat, it basically locks in that sound to a very specific parameter. And I know it's very vague, so I'm gonna go over to Maschine and just kind of give you more of an in-depth example so you can visually see what it is that I'm talking about. All right, so if you look down below, you'll see this fraction, and let me see. Okay, so you'll see down below, you see 1/32. Now what that is defined as is a quantization measure. Now, if we move up, the tighter that quantization becomes, meaning that the software gives less value for it to input into the pattern. So if you see, if I come here, you see the grid, it gets less. Yep. Okay, so 1/16 is a very, very good quantization parameter to stick with if you're trying to maintain timing. Now, this also gives it kind of a robotic feel. So I guess if you have a very good sense of rhythm, depending on where you are in your skill level, you may not need it, but in terms of workflow, this helps. So this would be defined as 8-bit quantization. This is 16-bit quantization, 32-bit quantization, 64-bit quantization, and 128-bit quantization. So point blank, it reduces the rate of timing errors. However, not entirely. So there's still a sense of rhythm required. And the higher up you go, let's say 128, the closer you need to listen to the metronome or just your internal sense of rhythm clock. Everyone has a different talent, everyone has different skills, but this really helps you tighten up if that skill is undeveloped. But on that note, it can really help you increase your sense of rhythm by turning it on and off, playing with higher quantization parameters, or just turning it off entirely. So, all right, thanks for sticking with me, guys. This is my first tutorial. I'm not sure how good it was. I guess we'll see. Feel free to leave a comment, like it, dislike it, comment, tell me what I could do better. This is kind of a new element for me. Never done anything like this before, so I'm sure in time I will increase my skill in communicating the information that I'm gathering. I'm still learning, and I really look forward to being able to learn from you guys as well. I'm sure if you're watching this and you've stuck with it, you had something that you needed to learn, or perhaps you just wanted to watch it to see what I know. And I would really appreciate any comment that can help me become a better producer. I'm looking to get involved in communities and you know, helping us grow as producers and musicians. It's such an incredible time to create. It's 2019. You know, we're knocking on 2020. Music is not going anywhere, baby. So we have that to look forward to. Closing note, with Maschine, it really allows me personally as a creator to catch a vibe. And it takes a lot of technical headaches for me out of the process. So again, if you like this, subscribe, leave feedback, and thank you so much for sticking with me. Real quick, guys, I just wanted to say that if you're interested in getting your hands on this Maschine MK3, go into my description and click the link, www.zounds.com. This website is absolutely amazing. I've been using it for a few years, and they have a lot of really great equipment, from mic stands, studio monitor stands, drum pads, not just the Maschine, keyboards, pianos, you name it, they've got it. What this allows you to do is, if you're a new customer, there's like a 4 to 6 month financing option, but if you maintain good standing with this company, then you can unlock the 12-month interest-free financing option. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and click the link and get started. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.